These two girls look happy and full of life as they enjoyed their carefree ride home. But their evening is about to be cut short in a very horrific way. And chillingly enough, the entire thing would be streamed live on Facebook. So what actually happened? And was there a way that it could have been avoided? Let's look into the case, the girl who live streamed her own death on Facebook. Born on December 14, 1995, Nikol Barabasova was a beautiful, vivacious 22-year-old woman from Dubai, the Czech Republic. And those who knew her said she was a good person, who loved dogs and had at least 2 of them. However, before this incident, Nikol had started hanging out with the wrong people, who would often get in trouble to the point of almost being arrested at one time. Now, on the evening of July 6, 2017, Nikol and her friend Nikol Vorlovsky were driving along the freeway when the worst happened. The two girls, who we will refer to as Nikol B and Nikol V in the video, had spent the day shopping and eating McDonald's before heading home in Nikol B's new Volkswagen Beetle. At some point in their journey, Nikol V decided to go live on Facebook, asking if anyone wanted to hang out, since they were bored and on their way back home. In the footage, the girls appeared to be having a good time as they laugh and sing along to songs. However, as the video continues, you will notice that Nikol B, who is behind the wheel, appears to be driving way too fast and doesn't seem to care about the road signs. She barely keeps her eyes on the road and seems more focused on appearing on the video than driving.
Ona má Harryho, jo, takovýho brouka, znáte to? A ukážeme vám, jak pojedeme 180. 180 má někde blázer, holka. A jen se dostaneme na rychlostku, tak krásný, pojedeme tak 60. Jaký zvonečky, Fando, ty vole? Ty žádný zvonečky nemáme? Jemu asi zvoní v hlavě už.
Reports said that Nikol B was driving at more than 74.5 miles per hour, and instead of telling her friend to slow down, Nikol V was just joking and making fun of the situation, like it was not a big deal. And things would get even more scary as the video continues. At some point, Nikol B's phone started ringing, and she actually took both her hands off the wheel to search her bag for it. She would talk to her grandma for several minutes, and at some point even taking her other hand off the wheel to get a drink. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, distracted driving causes at least 3,000 deaths in the US alone every year. And yes, cell phones and social media are among the top causes of distraction. But Nikol B didn't seem to care about that. She knew she was not just risking her own life and that of her friend, but also that of other innocent motorists, yet she was unbothered. And if you're wondering whether the girls were under the influence because of how they were behaving, well, they were not. Nikol V does mention something about ratting her friend out to the police, but she says it jokingly, so her friend doesn't take her seriously. What makes this case even more frustrating and infuriating is that these two knew what they were doing was wrong, and yet they did it anyway. They even joked about being stopped by the cops for violating traffic rules. It was all fun and games until Nikol B decided to accelerate with the intention of hitting 105 miles per hour. All along, Nikol V was still live on Facebook, reading the viewers' comments and telling them how worried she was for the first time that her friend was driving this fast, and she had every reason to be worried. These girls were still talking and giggling when suddenly Nikol V screamed in horror as her friend is seen trying to control the car. And in a split second, Nikol V is thrust forward and the car flips over. But one of the most horrible parts of the video is the eerie silence that follows after the crash. Just a few seconds ago, the car was full of life, with the girls laughing and talking as the engine ran and the stereo played. But now, everything was dead silent, with only the haunting sounds of the windscreen wipers, which had been turned on by the crash. It was reported that the Volkswagen Beetle was crashed near a town called Obrnice after hitting a barrier and flipping over onto oncoming traffic. Nikol V seemed to have dropped her phone, and the camera was now focusing on one of the seat belts. The video continued to run for about 20 minutes after the crash, and after what seemed like a lifetime, you hear a concerned man calling to check if the girls were okay.
Hey, Holky. Roku, telefon!
Nikol V seems to regain consciousness before the paramedics arrived, and you can hear her groaning in pain as a woman tries to comfort her. When the paramedics arrived, they found that Nikol B had suffered from serious head injuries and sadly died while being airlifted to the hospital. Nikol V was also rushed to the hospital with multiple injuries but luckily survived. All this while, no one noticed that the entire incident was being broadcasted on Facebook. It seemed like the phone had fallen into the backseat during the accident and it was not recovered until nearly the end of the video. I can just imagine how awful it must have been for the families and friends to watch helplessly as all of this happened. Especially Nikol B's family, who had to learn that she had died through Facebook. Eventually, a police officer did find the phone in the car and can be seen picking it up and taking it to his colleagues who were trying to identify the girls. A few minutes later, Nikol B's dad arrived at the scene and confirmed her identity. You can actually feel his heart breaking as he tells the emergency workers how he brought the new car for his daughter, and she ended up killing herself with it. The live stream doesn't end until Nikol V's dad arrives and takes the phone from the police before switching it off completely. Needless to say, the harrowing footage went viral and was shared across all social media platforms. When people learned that Nikol B had died in the crash, they flooded her Facebook page with prayers and messages of condolences. One person wrote, "I am terribly sorry for all your loved ones and everyone who loved you. Deepest condolences." Meanwhile, Nikol V was in the hospital intensive care unit for a while, but luckily survived the ordeal. And after leaving the hospital, she completely vanished from social media. Now, while many people felt bad for the girls and sympathized with their families, there was still some criticism for how the girls were behaving before the crash, with many believing that it could have been avoided if the girls had been more careful and more focused on the road instead of social media. Maybe Nikol B would still be alive today. It's just a miracle that no one else got hurt during this accident. Terrifyingly, this is not the first case where teens and young adults have been caught live streaming themselves while driving carelessly. There is also a similar case. The victim's name was Obdulia Sanchez. In July 2017, she was driving while live streaming on Instagram when she ended up crashing her car and killing her little sister instantly. And as if that's not enough, she actually continued streaming the gruesome incident, showing her sister's gory body strewn on the field. She was arrested for this and sentenced to 6 years in prison. And that's all for the case today. Thank you all for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up.